What is the right thing to do when faced with a dilemma? In our tradition, the Bhagavad Gita stands as a beacon of hope to all of us when we are faced with this challenge: what should I do? And it inspires us to be able to take a decision based on what is our dharma. We've all grown up with this, we know the story, but let's just put the context. The war at Kurukshetra is about to happen. Arjuna, the great warrior, steps out, looks, and sees his uncles, his cousins, his teachers, all on the other side. And so he says, what is the point of this? Even if I win this war, I would have killed those that I have loved in the past. And so he's despondent and he says, it's better that I leave the battlefield. And at that point, his mentor, his friend, Krishna, speaks to him. Friends, in the whole of world literature, we find this as a shining example of doing what is right. Also, the beauty of the Bhagavad Gita is that it is spoken not in some pasture, not in some peaceful place, but at the war, at the battleground, and not to get away from war, but to fight the right war, the right battle. So let's understand this. In the next 18 chapters, very beautifully Krishna is able to present the hallmark of Indian spirituality, of Vedanta. And he begins by speaking about one's karma yoga, one's bhakti yoga, one's jnana yoga. And he lays out these three paths. The one that we'll focus on for today's meditation is karma yoga. Karmani eva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbur ma te sango akarmani. There are three things about karma yoga. The first, you cannot run away from your responsibilities. Arjuna is a king. His responsibility is to his people. His people are being mistreated by the Kauravas who have taken over the kingdom. He has a responsibility to his people and therefore must fight. Friends, let's take a micro reflection meditation time. What are my responsibilities in life? I cannot run away from them, go to some retreat, go to some place, do some technique that may make my nervous system calm, but I can never be at peace. I have an existential angst problem because I'm running away from my responsibilities. So that's fairly well understood. I'm a teacher. If somebody asks me something, I have to teach. That's my responsibility. The second, to not be attached to the fruits of our actions. Friends, in our life, everything we do is for something in return. I do my work, I expect a promotion, I don't get it, now I hate my job. No, I didn't hate my job. I just didn't get what I thought I deserved. In the same way, I may do something for my partner, for my husband, wife, or relative, and I don't get that affection or that appreciation, and now I hate them or I fight with them. In life, our actions are always for some result, and because it is for some result, then our karma is bound. I'm expecting something, and therefore I'm always bound by those actions. If you were to do your actions and not expect in return, then you can be free in your doing. And so, friends, it is impossible for us to give up action. Right now, my body is performing millions of actions just to stay alive. But giving up the attachment to the fruits of those actions, that is the crux of karma yoga. Let's take our second micro meditation. In my life, is there anything that I do without expecting something in return? It doesn't have to be just material. It can I cultivate that even more in my life? And you'll see how difficult this is. Even in meditation, I want some benefits for my health, for my spiritual life. Can I do some things in life, at least one, where I don't expect anything in return? The doing of it itself is the reward. How beautiful would that life be, friends? How free you can be in your actions because it's not dependent. You're not doing it for something, so you can then be free. This, friends, is amazing. It's in line with Krishna's beautiful definition of a yogi. He says the monk has detachment, the householder takes on responsibilities but has attachments. The yogi is the one who has the detachment of the monk but is able to handle the responsibilities of life. For many millennia, every culture around the world has been fascinated by the monk, the one who says, there is no liberation in samsara, I will go out and find my path. But Krishna redefines that by saying, your samsara can also be your path. How beautiful is that? So friends, Karma Yoga teaches us not just service. Service is beautiful, but something beyond. To not run away from responsibilities and to not expect the fruits of those actions. Only such a person can be free in the way they act. If I am dependent on your appreciation, I will say those things and not hurt you so that I get your appreciation. But then I'm not doing my role as a teacher, or I cannot really be free in what I'm doing. And the third one, friends, to not even be attached to the role. How often in life we take on hardship, we make sacrifices because the role demands this. And imagine if you're not even attached to the role, how free you can be. Suppose in my role now, I'm a teacher. Once this class is over, and if we were to meet for chai, and we're talking about any and everything else, not necessarily just this, then you can say, okay, maybe he's not attached. But if this is what I'm doing 24/7, then I'm living in a golden cage. Friends, the same for you. So let's take a small micro meditation, our third and last. What are those roles that I am attached to? And sometimes we may say, my role, I am a father, or I am a mother. I am a brother, a sister, a husband, a wife. I'm a husband to one person, not the other 8 billion. I have a functional identity and a functional role with this one person. If I become just that and I'm stuck in that identity, then I'm attached to my role. But if I understand that this is my functional identity with this person, then I'm not trapped and I can play that role beautifully. I'm attached to, I have my responsibilities. I'm not worried about the fruits because I'm doing my dharma. I know what I have to do, and I'm not even attached to the role. So dear friends, this happens a lot in life. Suppose our mother has sacrificed a lot for us. Someday if she tells us, I sacrificed this for you, it leaves a bad feeling. Because that was the role that she was playing. At some point, that attachment may affect. In the same way, you can ask yourself, when was the last time you were so attached to the role that you told somebody that I'm doing this for you? Dear friends, Karma Yoga is very different from service. Service is seva. I sweep the floor before the class begins. That's beautiful seva. That's not Karma Yoga. I may be going to an orphanage once a week, but my motive may be to show off amongst my friends. If it was so simple, we could have all done some charity and become Karma Yogis. It is beautiful to do the charitable work, but your intention dictates whether that's Karma Yoga or whether that's Seva. And if it is Karma Yoga, then you're free in your actions. It is such a rare phenomenon. It is such a rare phenomenon to find a person like that. You may find workaholic people. That's not necessarily karma yoga. They may be attached to that role. To find a person doing their responsibilities, not attached to the fruits of their actions, and not attached to their role is truly liberation in action. Let's take a minute in silence, friends, remembering the 3 points that make karma yoga. Seeking grace in our life that we may be able to find freedom in our life through our actions itself. I thank you for joining in. The beauty of Karma Yoga is that you won't know who's a Karma Yogi. Somebody who you've never considered having a lot of wisdom or a lot of faith may actually be very free in life. At the end of the day, friends, all of us seek freedom. The Karma Yogi finds it through service, through action. Namaste.